Hi guys, let's start a new exercise, exercise 2C. But before we start, let's look at the concepts in this exercise, some of which we've already talked about. So, CI for any time period is more than the CI of the previous time period. We've talked about it. Since the principal keeps on increasing, the compound interest for each next term is more than the compound interest of the previous term. Difference between compound interest of two consecutive time periods is the interest on compound interest of the preceding time period. Let's look at what it means. So let's say P1 is rupees 1000, rate is 10% per annum at compound interest. Compound interest for year 1 is 10%, which is 100. P2 becomes 1100. Compound interest 2 is 110, which is 10% of 1100. So what this is saying is difference between compound interest of two successive time periods. In this case, CI2 minus CI1, which is 110 minus 100 is rupees 10. What this is saying is 10 rupees is the interest on the preceding compound interest. So what it's saying is 10 is equal to 10% of preceding compound interest, in this case 100. So 10 is equal to 10% of 100, which means in a question, if compound interest of two successive time periods is given, you should be able to figure out the rate from this formula. Same thing happens with the amount. So the difference between amount of two successive time periods is the interest on amount of preceding time period. Let's look at the same example. In this case, amount 1 would have been 1100, which is written here, and amount 2 would be 1210. So difference of amounts, that's 1210 minus 1100, which is equal to 110. So 110 is the interest on the preceding amount, which is 110 is equal to 10% of the preceding amount, which is 1100. That's correct. So this is basically the concept of this exercise. Let's go ahead and solve some questions. So let's look at question number 1. Question number 1 says a sum is invested at compound interest compounded yearly. Compound interest for two successive years is 5,700 and 7,410. So difference between compound interest of two successive terms is equal to rupees 7410 minus rupees 5700, which is equal to rupees 1710. Right, 7400 minus 5700, that's 17 and 10 extra, 1710. What this means is 1710 is the interest on the previous compound interest, which is rupees 5700 for the term. What is the term? This is compounded yearly, which means for 1 year. Let's understand this again. We calculated the difference between two successive compound interest, which was 1710. So 1710 is the interest on the previous compound interest, which is 5700 for the term. This is compounded yearly, which means we're talking about a difference of 1 year. Let's put it in the simple formula. 1710, which is the interest, is equal to principal, which is 5700, into rate, we do not know, time 1 upon 100. Interest is equal to PRT upon 100. This is for 1 year. This gets cancelled. Therefore, R is equal to 1710 upon 57. 57.1, 57.3 is 171. So this is 30. Therefore, rate is equal to 30% per annum. Simple to calculate as long as you understand that basic concept. Let's look at the next question. The next question that we do is question number 2. So for people who are running ahead of me, what I would want to do in this chapter would be question 1, question 2, question 3, question 6, question 8, question 9, and question 12. That's what I would try and solve in this video. Let's see how far we go. Let's look at question number 2. Sum of money, we don't know, is put at CI compounded half yearly, which means this is being compounded half yearly. Interest for two successive half years is rupees 650 and rupees 760.50, which means difference between two successive half years. Difference between compound interest of two successive half years is equal to 760.50 minus 650, which is equal to rupees 110.50. Now what it means is 110.50 is interest on the previous compound interest, in this case 650, for how many years? In this case the time is half year, which means it's being compounded half yearly, so for half year. Again, let's put it in the same formula. Interest is equal to principal, in this case 650, into rate, we do not know, time, half year, upon 100. Let's cross multiply. What we get is R is equal to 110.50 into 10 into 2 upon 65. So this is 1105 into 2 upon 65. Let's see if this can be divided. 5 into 13, 5 into 2, 10, 5 into 2, 10, 1. 13 into 1, 13, 13 into 1, 13, that's 91, which is 7. Therefore, R is equal to 17 into 2, that's 34% per annum. Basic question, if the compound interest of two successive terms would be given, the difference between these two compound interests is equal to the interest on the first compound interest for the given term of the question. Let's look at the next question. The next question we do is question 3. A certain sum amounts to rupees 5292 in 2 years. So now what we are talking about is amount, the same formula but working for amount. So amount for second year is equal to rupees 5292. Amount for the third year is equal to rupees 5556.60. Okay, we need to find the rate, which is the same logic that we've used earlier. A3 minus A2, these are two successive years, that would be 5556.60 minus 5292, that's 0.60. 6 minus 2, 4, 15 minus 9, that's 6, 4 minus 2, that's 2. So therefore, difference of amount for difference of amount for two successive years is equal to rupees 264.60. What this means is 264.60 is interest on the previous amount, in this case 5292, for 1 year. Perfect. Let's put it in the formula. Interest is equal to principal, which is 5292, into rate, we do not know, time 1 year, upon 100. Therefore, R is equal to 26460. I just cross multiplied, divided by 5292. Now this is directly divisible by 5. Therefore, R is equal to 5% per annum. First part of the question done. We need to calculate the second part of the question, which is find the original sum. So we can use many methods. Let's use the method which we had used earlier, which is let principal is equal to rupees 100, right? Or we could use the formula, which is A is equal to P times 1 plus R upon 100 is part N. Let's use the formula which we'd used in the previous exercise. Let's calculate compound interest 1. So compound interest 1 will be equal to principal into rate 5 into time upon 100, which is equal to 5. Therefore, A1 will be equal to 105, which will be equal to P2. Okay, so compound interest for year 2 would be principal into rate into time upon 100, which is 5.25. Therefore, A2 will be equal to 110.25. Let's use unitary method, which means when A2 is equal to 110.25, P is equal to 100. In this case, when A2 is equal to what, 5292, P will be equal to 5292 into 100 upon 11025. Let's multiply it with another 100 so that we are able to remove the decimals. Let's divide. This is 5 to 7 and 8 and 9 divisible by 9. 5, 7, 9, 9, 18 divisible by 9. Let's divide by 9. That'll be 9 into 1, 9, 20, 9 into 2, 18, 22, 9 into 2, 18, that's 45, 9 into 5, 45. So that's 1225. This is 9 into 5, 45, 79, 9 8s are 72, that's 72, that's 9 into 8. So that's 588. Let's divide it again. What I'll get would be, let's try 7, 7 into 8, 7 9s are, sorry, 7 8s are 56 divisible by 7. Okay, so 7 into 8, 56, 28, 7 4s are 28, and this would be 7 1s are 7, 52, 7 7s are 49, that 35, 7 5s are 35. Okay, again divisible by 7, 7 into 12, and this is 7 into 2, 14, 35. That's 7 into 5, 35. Right? This is 25 into 1, 25 into 4. That's 4 into 12, 48 with 20, which is equal to rupees 4,800. Done. Let's look at the next question. The next question that we'll be doing is question number 6. Let's look at the question. Question 6 says, Geeta borrowed rupees 15,000 for 18 months. So 15,000 for 18 months at compound interest half yearly. At the end of 6 months, which is after one term, it amounted to 15,600. Okay, so let's use the formula. Interest for the first term, which is basically we are talking about simple interest. So interest for first term is equal to 15,600 minus 15,000, which is equal to rupees 600. Let's put it in the formula. Interest is equal to principal into rate, we do not know, time, half year, upon 100. So this is 200, this is 21275. Therefore, R is equal to 600 upon 75, and that's equal to 8%. Therefore, R is equal to 8% per annum. So first part of the question done. Let's look at the second part of the question. It says amount to be repaid at the end of 18 months. So we need to calculate the amount at the end of 18 months. We know A is equal to P 1 plus R upon, oh, we haven't done the formula yet, right? This is this chapter without the formula, so I can't use the formula. Let's go ahead and solve it without the formula. So I know I1 is equal to rupees 600, A1 is equal to rupees 15,600, which means P2 is equal to rupees 15,600. Let's calculate interest for the second term, which is the second half year, which is principal 15,600 into rate. We just calculated it as 8 into time, again half upon 100. This is 2124. So that's 156 into 4, that's 600, and 6 into 4, 24. So this is rupees 624, which means A2 would be equal to P2 plus CI2, which is 15,600 plus 600, that's 16,224. Now for third term, for third half year, what we have is compound interest for the third term will be equal to principal into rate, which is 8, sorry, into time, which is half upon 100. So this is 2124. So what we have is 16,224 multiplied with 4. 4 into 4, 16, 8 plus 1, 9, 8, and this is 64. So this is compound interest for third term is 648.96. Let's calculate amount to be repaid. Therefore, amount 3 would be equal to 16,224 plus 648.96, and that's equal to 4 plus 8, 12, 4 to 6, 1, 7, 8, 6, 1. So rupees 16,872.96. That's the final amount to be paid at the end of 3 terms, which is 18 months. Let's look at the next one. The next one we're doing is question number 8. It says rupees 8,000 is lent out at 7% compound interest for 2 years. At the end of first year, rupees 3560 is returned. Find the interest for second year. Okay, so let's calculate compound interest for first year. That would be principal into rate into time upon 100, and this is equal to rupees 560, which means A1, which is also equal to, which is A1 is equal to 8,000 plus 560, which is equal to rupees 8,560, which means principal 2 is equal to A1 minus the repayment, which is 3560, which is equal to rupees 5,000. So that's our principal for year 2. Compound interest for year 2 would be principal multiplied with rate, which is 7 into 1 upon 100, and that's equal to rupees 350. So the first part of the question done. Interest for year 2. Let's look at second part. Total interest in both the years, which means total compound interest would be equal to CI1 plus CI2. In this case, first term it was 560, second term it was 350, which is equal to rupees 910. So total CI for 2 years is rupees 910. Second part of the question done. Let's look at third part. Total amount to be paid in 2 years to clear the debt. So total amount is equal to what the total CI is and what the principal was. So P plus CI, in this case 8,000 plus 910, which is equal to rupees 8,910. That's the answer to the third part. Good. That brings me to the next question that I solved with you. The next question is question number 9. Question 9 says cost of a machine depreciates. So we've talked about depreciation earlier. This is basically compound interest, but the value keeps on reducing. So instead of adding the compound interest, you are subtracting the depreciation value by rupees 4,000 in first year and 3,600 in the second year. So difference between depreciation value, depreciation of 2 successive years is equal to 4,000 minus 3,600, which is equal to rupees 400. Now, like we did in the interest question, basically 400 is the depreciation on 4,000 for 1 year. Therefore, rupees 400 is depreciation on rupees 4,000, which is the depreciation for the first year. For the term is 1 year. Let's put it in the formula and we get 400 is equal to principal into rate, we do not know, time 1 year upon 100, which means therefore R is equal to 400 upon 40 is equal to 10% per annum. So that's the depreciation rate and the first part of the question done. Next part, original cost of the machine. So original cost of the machine, we know in year 1 it depreciated by 4,000 rupees. So what we know is 10% of original value, because the depreciation rate was 10%. So 10% of original value is equal to rupees 4,000. correct? Because it's depreciation by 4,000 in 1 year, which means 10 upon 100 into original value is equal to 4,000, which means original value is equal to 4,000 into 100 upon 10, which is equal to rupees 40,000. So if the value or the original value was 40,000, in year one it depreciated by 10%, which is basically 4,000, and that's how the value of the machine then was 40,000 minus 4,000. Therefore, value of machine at the beginning of second year is equal to 40,000 minus 4,000, which is the depreciation in year one, which is equal to rupees 3,000. Sorry, not 3,000, 36,000. For 40,000 minus 4,000, that's 36,000. Now, depreciation in year 2 was equal to 3,600. Therefore, value at the end of year 2 or beginning of year 3 would be 36,000 minus 3,600, which will be equal to 32,400. They want value at the end of 3 years. Therefore, depreciation for year 3 will be equal to 10th percent of 32,400, which is equal to 3,240. Yes, 3240, 10%, 3,240. Therefore, value after 3 years will be equal to 32,400 minus 3,240, which is equal to rupees 29,160. So that's the value of the machine when after the end of 3 years. Good, let's look at the last question that I solved with you from this exercise. The last question is question number 12. It says a man borrows 10,000 rupees at 10% compound interest yearly. At the end of each year, he pays back 20% of the amount for that year. Or how much money is left unpaid after the second year. So let's calculate compound interest for first year. That will be 10,000 into 10% into 1 year upon 100, and that's equal to rupees 1,000, which means amount at the end of 1 year is equal to rupees 11,000. How much does he repay? Repayment 1. So this is after the end of 1 year is equal to 20%. So 20 upon 100 into 11,000, which is equal to rupees 2,200. Therefore, principal for second year would be equal to 11,000 minus 2,200, and that's equal to 8,800. Perfect. Let's calculate compound interest for year 2. That will be principal into rate. Rate is 10% into the second year, which is 1 year upon 100, and that's equal to rupees 880. Okay, now just after the second year, which means he's already repaid something, so amount 2 would be equal to 8800 plus 880. That's equal to 088 plus 816, so that's rupees 9,680. How much does he repay? Repayment the second time is equal to 20% of 9,680. So this is 968 into 2, that's 1800, 1920, 1936. That's rupees 1,936. Therefore, balance amount at the end of 2 years will be equal to 9680 minus 1936. That's 10 minus 6, 4, 8, 9, 7 minus 3, 4, 16 minus 9, 7, and 8 minus 1, 7. So that's equal to rupees 7,744. Let me mark your homework questions. Homework questions for you would be 4, 5, 7, 10, and 11. Thank you so much. Take care. I'll see you with the next video. Bye-bye.